Once again, about how habeas works. Why is it extremely important to know this? Habeas works in cases where your relative, friend, or in general, someone who ended up in detention previously crossed the border between Mexico and the United States. If a person arrived on a visa, they can apply for release on bail, and they don't need tools like habeas. Habeas works, I repeat, in the case where a person crossed the border between Mexico and the US, lived in the US for some time, and was then detained. In this case, habeas works very well. What else is important to understand for habeas to actually work? You must not have any criminal violations in the US or outside the US. This is extremely important. You must have lived here for some time. You must show that you are a fairly law-abiding person and that you are living peacefully within the United States. And most likely, you must show that you have grounds to remain here. For example, you have filed Form 589 for asylum, and you are here waiting for it to be processed. There are cases when a person has no status, they're here illegally, but habeas still helps. Why? Because, for example, a person has been held in detention for more than 6 months, and they couldn't be deported to their country. In this case, habeas also helps. In general, overall, it's a very powerful, good tool, but you have to remember that the lion's share of federal judges, and it's federal judges who handle reviewing habeas petitions, well, the lion's share of federal judges ultimately grants approval for a person to have a bond hearing. What does that mean? If your habeas was approved, then most likely the judge will say that now, after this, you must see an immigration judge who will decide if you can be released on bond. And in this case, you will have another one, you will have a different hearing, you must have a sponsor who has a US green card or passport. This sponsor must definitely have an income, and this sponsor must write a special letter for you. So be prepared for the fact that most likely just a habeas is not the end of the process. A habeas gives you the opportunity, most likely, it will give you the opportunity to see an immigration judge who will decide if you can be released on bond. Good luck to EPS1. Bye!